everyone, it's Jean from the Inky Studio. Today we're going to have a little project that we're going to create, and I got this little pouch and it's got a cloth cover. This is a no-sew option. It's all gluing, and then eventually in this spine here we'll put in the signature. We have a pocket here, and then we have a little flap to come over it. So it's like a nice little purse-like pouch when you get finished. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a paper bag, and I would suggest getting the large giant ones. Just the ones that I've used here. These are 12 by 6. I got them at Walmart, but I'm sure there's other places to get the extra large lunch bags. And just a simple lunch bag like that, and you're going to need a 12 by 12 sheet of scrapbook paper of some sort, and it needs to be 12 by 12. The 8.5 by 11 won't really do the job. And then get don't get super thin, but it could just be like a medium weight. And you're going to need some cloth, and you're going to need a section of cloth that is about well, it's going to be quite a bit bigger than your bag. So let me just measure that really fast. This is 12 by 15, so this is like a 12 by 15 size piece of cloth. And the cloth is not real super thin either, because you don't want the glue and stuff to seep through and all that stuff. So it's not super heavy, but it's like a cotton weight, cotton blend fabric. And then you'll need a tie, some way that you want to tie close your pouch. And this is about 27 inches of seam binding, whatever you want to use for that. And you'll need your glue. Now I'm using glitter glue, but you can use a quality white glue. I prefer to use ones that are either fast drying or quick drying. I know Eileen's has one that is quick drying. I like those a little bit better than the other ones that stay wet for a long time. So anyways, any kind of a white glue will do. I would not use fabric tack on the cloth portion of it, just because it will probably seep through and you will be able to see the track of the glue on the other side. So our first step is to open up the bag, and I like to put my hands in there and open it up fully. And we're just going to fold it so the gussets all pop out. And the bottom of the bag folds down, like so. You might have to get in there and make sure that this is all out there. But as long as you've got a pretty good angle there and a pretty good angle here, you should be okie dokie. There. See, I have a pretty good angle there and a pretty good angle there. That's the most important part. So now once you've got this all flattened out, we are going to take off some of this flap. It's just a little too large. It's it's so much of a flap that it really eats up the space that's in this area. So I am just going to cut off I don't know, a really good inch here, all the way across. Important. Now we're going to start gluing it down. So I'm going to come down here on the lip, and we just want it to hold in place. We don't need it to be too much, and then we just can go over here in the corner. So I'm just follow along and glue that flap down, and then we need to glue down the opening that we created because we cut off that extra bit. Okay, just will keep the other layers from lifting if we can get that glued down pretty good there. All right, so that's all finished. Okay, now for our fabric. I would suggest that you get a non-directional piece of fabric. In other words, it doesn't matter how you lay this down, it all looks fine. If you get a directional one, it will be a little bit more fussing. but this is much easier to do it this way. And we want to cut the fabric so there is about 1 inch all the way around the bag. And I'm going to get down here in the angle, and I just did it like this by my eye, and just cut around like that. And it doesn't have to be a perfect amount, because we aren't going to really see the very ends of it. We're only going to see the part that wraps around the bag. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue down. Oh no, before I do that, I think I forgot to mention that I need 2 pieces of cardstock that are about 1/2 inch wide. So that's about 1/2 inch wide. And then of course we wanted the width of our bag. And I'm going to cut it just on the inside of that width, just so it's just a hair shorter than the width. Let me just take off a little tiny bit more. There we go. Because we need to glue these pieces on the inside of the bag to reinforce it, and we are going to be making a pocket here. So we want to make sure that it's nice and sturdy, and plus it also will help the fabric to lay across it a little bit easier. Okay, so that's been done. Now we can cut around our fabric, which we already did, but now we're ready to glue the fabric down. So we'll lay this, and we will start gluing the 2 long sides first. And so I'm just going to put like 1 inch maybe of glue to kind of match. I'm trying to match how much I've got over here. I'm just trying to make a path about the same right along that area. Okay, and we'll fold it over like that. And just go ahead and come in this little section there. Okay, now let's go ahead and do this side. And now when we do this side and we glue this side down, we will just give it, you know, don't pull it tightly, but just kind of give it a little snug, just a little snugness. You know, I hold it down here a little bit and just do a little snugness, not a whole lot. Okay. And quickly turn it over to make sure I don't have any wrinkles. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I did press this before. And so long as you don't have any creases and wrinkles there, then you're good to go. If you do, you can lift this up and re-glue it within, you know, 5 minutes or so of you gluing it down. All right, now we have to put some fabric here on this part of the pocket. Because our paper is not going to be able to be wide enough to wrap around on the inside. So we're going to put fabric there, a strip of fabric, a scrap piece of your main piece, just about 1.5 inches wide maybe, and the length of that. And we're just going to come down here and put about 1/2 inch of glue. Right, like so, and lay this down like that. I do want to cover that dip in there a little bit. Well, it doesn't seem to be laying as flat as I like. There we go. Okay. So we have that. We just want to make sure that our fabric is sealed and glued well on these edges here, on these very end pieces there. Okay, and then we're going to take and wrap this around just like we did the other piece of cloth. Just like that. Okay. Hold a little taut and work that down inside. So this is going to be the inside of the pocket right here like this. All right, now the cloth is completely on, and we don't have, oops, sorry about the bouncing, we don't have any sewing on here. However, if you wanted to sew, you could sew around these edges. Not your pocket together, of course, but you could, stitch it after it dries on your machine. You could definitely do that. That would work good, although I might wait until after I got my inside paper on. Now, the inside paper, like I say, is going to leave a little bit, it's not going to reach all the way, but it will leave a little bit of a border, which looks fine, I think. And so you want to lay your paper down. And again, I've got a paper that doesn't really have a direction. It's pretty neutral in that regard. So once I've laid that down, and I'm going to be careful to keep it together, put it down like so. Now I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to trace on the edge of my pouch cover where the lines are there and right here. Now when I go to cut this out, I'm going to cut on the inside about 1/8 of an inch. Because remember, we're going to have a little bit of a border. If I were to cut it right there, it would there wouldn't be any border on the one side. So you want to come in about 1/8 of an inch, and then you don't see the pencil marks or anything like that. And I usually like to slice the diagonal first and then the straight one, but you can do it either way. So let me go get that done. So my paper has been cut. I did have to go back and recut a couple of these areas, but that's, it looks great, looks fine. Now you need to put a tie down, and you want to put your tie here in the middle of the flap that goes down, and we'll just, I'm just going to glue it down here quickly, put it in place. It looks about like the middle. Yep, looks good. So whatever tie you're going to use, you'll want to put that down first, and then you're going to glue down your paper. And I'm going to go ahead and use the fabric tack for this particular one, for this side, because I'm not worried about it bleeding through the paper. Now, of course, you could use your glue. That's fine too. your white glue. That's great. And then once I glue around the edges, I'm going to come in and glue inside the whole sheet. All right, and we're just going to make sure it all has good contact. Now the only thing left to do with the cover is to make our spines. I am going to make sure that especially the corners, are glued down so they're not lifting up. A little bit over there. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that all the edges are secured. Yeah, just like that. Okay. So our folder is done that way. Now we're going to place 2 folds by hand at first, and that's, first of all, it will be the flap, and I like to fold it probably like a ½ inch from where that corner is, about a ½ inch there, approximately. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to take a stylus, and this is like something I got from the dollar store, and I'm going to put in a preliminary score line down there, like so. And you know, the cloth is of course not going to get scored, but this at least gives you a place to fold it by hand. So here is the flap, and actually this is a much smaller flap than my previous one, but I think it'll be all right. And then this one I will do by hand just because I want it to be about ½ inch from where this fold line is at, about that much. And I'm going to put down this crease. Now it's best to do this when the glue is dry all the way, and I might be rushing it just a little bit. Alright, so now I have to make some spines. So I'm going to be making a second score line about 3/8 of an inch from this one. And this is so our flap will fit over our signature. And I'll be folding this one over. It's, you know, a little tricky, but not bad. Okay, so I'm going to set this down here. Maybe this will be, oh yeah, this is a lot better. We'll just fold it over like that. Get it started. And then come on down. So now we have a bit of a spine here for us to make room for our signature. And then for the signature, I am going to put the spine on this side over here, or the next score line on this side. And I'm going to put it about 3/8 of an inch on this side here. And fold this over like so, up against my ruler, and we'll just get down in here and make that like that. Okay, so now we have these 2 places right here that is going to make the spine that we're going to sew our signature into. And we have enough room here, and then this will come around. I'm going to sew a button here, and I'm going to wrap this around the button. So that's the way I'm going to do that. You could just, you know, close it up like that if you want to. But I'm going to get a large button, and I'm going to sew it in there by hand, right where this is at, and then I will come and wrap around the tie closure that way. So that essentially is our cover. I'm going to get Velcro, And I'm going to put a piece of Velcro in here to open and keep that closed so you can fill it with things without it spilling out. And then I do have some signatures that are made up. Now these signatures were made from 8.5 by 11 paper, portrait print, and just folded in half and then just trimmed off about 1 inch on the bottom so that it fits in there. So it's really great. Take a sheet of paper, lay it this way and fold it in half and trim a little bit off, and you have the perfect signature to fit on the inside. Now don't worry if your measurements are such that when you fold this up there's a little bit of the paper peeking up. It's fine, even as long as it doesn't interfere with this spine. It's okay because it'll be hidden with your flap. But yeah, don't worry about anything sticking out except where you don't want it to that one spine right there. Okay, so that is how I put together this nifty little pouch with a cloth cover and with no sewing. So thanks a lot for watching. You can I'm going to go ahead and be doing stuff on the inside of this, and I'll show you what I end up doing and putting this together. We'll talk to you later. Bye.